Ever since the theft, I haven't been able to find Henrik anywhere.
That's odd. Has anyone else seen him?
If they have, they sure aren't telling me.
Nancy, do you think he's the thief?
I can't imagine that.
Maybe he's just an accomplice. Maybe he loosened security somehow to make the thief's job easier.
It's possible, but Henrik seems to care so much about his work. Why would he want to hurt the museum?
Maybe he cares a little too much. She's right, Nancy. I'd give him the 3rd degree if I were you. Whenever he shows up again, that is.
Somehow, Joanna has gotten the museum into some financial hot water.
How'd she do that?
Yeah, and how hot's the water?
It's all very vague. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I mean, maybe she just overextended the budget a little in her effort to acquire the best artifacts for the museum, but
even if her intentions were good...
She may be feeling a little desperate to make some money back quickly.
Desperate enough to steal the Pacal carving, sell it on the black market, and collect the insurance on it too?
I know she loves the museum. Who knows what she'd do if she were afraid of losing her job.
She's a suspect.
Definitely a suspect.
I'll talk to you later, ladies.
We'll be waiting for an update.
Bye, Nancy.
I need a disc.
It's a fiasco, just as I feared. Oh, I'm sick about the whole thing.
Yes, your fears seem to have been quite visionary.
I was in the museum when it happened.
Have you spoken to the police?
I told them everything I know. I mean, I coughed up my brains right there on the table.
So, do you think this is linked to the thefts in Topeka and New Mexico?
That awful red hand was left on Prudence Rutherford's jewelry box in Topeka, and on the display case in the museum in New Mexico. What's the chance they're not connected?
Do you know Prudence Rutherford personally?
Oh, we saw each other at functions now and then. Poor Prudence. She adored that necklace.
What's the name of the museum in New Mexico?
The Chaco Canyon Cultural Center. They had a beautiful collection up there, worth a bundle, too. I appraised some pieces for them a few years back.
Why do you think the thief is leaving this red handprint?
To be a gruesome scoundrel?
The Pacal thief's glyph message translates to, "The magician suffers yellow death." What in the world do you think that means?
You've got me there.
I'd better get going.
Thanks for stopping by.
Hello, Nancy.
Why did Mexico choose to lend the monolith to Beach Hill and not some other museum?
Dr.Henrik outbid everyone. I had no idea a small museum like Beach Hill could afford such an expensive arrangement.
Have you heard? The Pacal carving was stolen from the museum.
Well, I heard the alarms going off, but it wasn't until Henry called me that I heard the news.
You don't sound very concerned about all of this.
I was running late. I just figured somebody tripped a wire and I kept going.
I'll need to alert the police so they can ask you some questions.
I have diplomatic immunity, so I do not have to answer any questions. But I will, because I have nothing to hide.
Don't you care about the disappearance of such a rare Maya artifact?
That artifact was lost to me as soon as it left Mexican soil. So my friend Pacal goes underground for a while until he is sold again. Suddenly, he turns up in Amsterdam or Hong Kong. Unless he is rightfully repatriated to Mexico, what's the difference?
Do you know much about Maya glyphs?
You've got me there. I know Spanish, English, Portuguese, and several indigenous languages, including Quiche and Nahuatl, but I have yet to learn the language of glyphs.
Do you consider Henrik a conquistador, along with Joanna Riggs and Sinclair?
Henrik is a student of my culture and my heritage, not trying to buy and sell it. We don't agree on everything, especially not baseball, but I have nothing against him.
I should get back to the museum.
Goodbye.
You have voicemail. Press 0 to retrieve message.
Nancy, hi. It's Franklin Rose. I'm calling because it's just... This theft is very bad news for the museum. You can't imagine the limb we went out on to acquire that Pacal carving. It's been one of the museum's main attractions. I don't want to take you away from your internship, but if you can do a little investigating, well, I think I speak for the whole board when I say we'd be very grateful. Give me a call when you have a chance. And Nancy, thanks.
To replay messages, press 0.
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call?
This is Nancy Drew, calling for Franklin Rose, please.
Just a minute, please.
Nancy, hello. Do you have any news?
The thief left a red handprint at the scene of the crime. According to Taylor Sinclair, the same print was left at a couple of other crime scenes recently. I'm trying to find out what the connection is between these thefts.
Oh, Nancy, you zero in on a case like a heat-seeking missile, don't you? I feel so much better knowing you're going to follow up on every lead. I'll help in any way I can.
Thanks, Mr. Rose.
That's what I'm here for.
Keep it real. Max speaking.
Hi, do you sell a compound of mercury and sulfur?
Mercuric sulfide? Oh, we sure do. How much do you need? First things first. What account's this for?
Actually, I didn't call to place an order. I just need some information on Beach Hill's ordering history.
Well, hello there, Beach Hill. Hey, you're not Sunny June. Whatever happened to that guy? I suppose he caught a ride on a flying saucer, huh? What a riot. I'm sorry. Anyway, you don't need to reorder, do you? Unless you ate last week's shipment for breakfast, that is.
You're sure it was last week?
Oh, that's what it says here.
Do you know who placed that order?
The initials on the order are JR.
Was the package shipped to the museum?
Oh? Oops, I guess we didn't ship it at all. It looks like the package was picked up here at the warehouse.
So there hasn't been a hold-up at the distributor or anything like that?
Hold up. Oh, I don't know where you heard that. We've got enough mercuric sulfide in-house to sink a ship.
Can you remember anything about the person who picked up the package?
I sure can't. Guess I must have been at lunch or something.
Well, thanks for your help.
Sure thing. I hope there wasn't any problem with the stuff, was there? We only used the top-grade mercuric sulfide.
Judging by the impression it left, I'd have to agree that the quality was fine.
Well, you sound a little green in the chemicals department, if you don't mind my saying so. I hope you know that mercuric sulfide is highly toxic. Makes you crazy.
Toxic?
Oh, looks like I've got another call coming in here. You give us a call in about 4 months or so when you start to run out, okie doke? And don't forget to keep it real.
Boswell, Jackson, and Rose, how may I direct your call?
This is Nancy Drew, calling for Franklin Rose, please.
Just a minute, please.
Nancy, to what do I owe the pleasure of this call?
Oops, false alarm. I'll call you later.
Not a problem, dear.
Henrik!
Amnesia? Wow. Henrik must have taken a real nosedive off that pyramid.
Do you think he just fell, Nancy?
Or was he pushed?
Sounds like you need to find out about hospital visiting hours.
Yeah, but you'd better get the lowdown from Joanna first.
George is right. She is your supervisor, after all. Come in.
First the Pacal carving is stolen, and now my star glyph man bumps his head and forgets his own name? What's next, Nancy? Del Rio pulls the plug on the monolith, the board clams up on my funding, my mother posts my old prom pictures on the internet?
Take it easy, Joanna. I'm sure everything is going to be okay.
What I need from you right now is action, not commentary, Nancy. Will you follow up with the hospital and see if there's anything we can do to get Henrik's marbles back?
I'll call right away.
You can also pick up Henrik's mail if he gets any. Keep the lab in order and just try to help me keep the entire museum from going up in smoke.
Apparently, a Topeka woman named Prudence Rutherford has recently been visited by a red-handed thief, too. Do you have any idea how I might get in touch with her?
Afraid I can't help you there.
I've got work to do.
Semper ubi sub ubi.
You have voicemail. Press 0.
This message is for Nancy Drew. Hi, Nancy. This is Nurse Bluefoot calling from Eleanor Roosevelt Memorial Hospital in regards to Henrik Vanderheun. I believe you're a colleague of his? Since Mr. Vanderheun was admitted, he has repeated your name several times in states of semi-consciousness. As we've been unable to contact any of his family members, we're hoping you might be willing to act as Henrik's support person as he begins the difficult process of restoring his memory. Please call me as soon as possible to discuss this. My direct line is 202-555-4000. Thank you.
To replay messages, press 0. Press 9 for an outside line.
This is Nurse Bluefoot.
Nurse Bluefoot, this is Nancy Drew. You left me a message regarding Henrik Vanderheun. How is he?
Nancy Drew? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I'm so relieved. We've been unable to locate any family members, and we do like amnesia patients to have at least one personal support person when they begin reality orientation.
What's reality orientation?
Well, reality orientation is a kind of treatment that helps a patient get reacquainted with the facts and circumstances of his or her life. Henrik has not actually lost his memory. It's just that his brain is injured in such a way that he can't access the place where the memories are stored.
I see. So we need to help him find the trail of crumbs. Is that it?
Exactly. First, we do repetitive memory exercises to help Henrik relearn the basic facts, like his name and address, the name of his parakeet, if he has one, the date, and so on. Second, we try to stimulate Henrik's sensory memories in order to help trigger or find the way back to his cognitive memories.
Where do I come in?
You can't help Henrik remember his childhood, but you can probably help him remember his work, and who knows where that will take him. All roads lead to Rome, as they say. One great tool is the Reality Orientation Board. This is a place to post information and pictures for the patient to look at over a period of time. You may want to bring in images or photos to place on the board. Things from the museum, perhaps.
I see. Well, I'll be happy to help in any way I can. When are visiting hours?
Visiting hours are 10 to 4 every day, if the patient is not engaged in treatment and if he seems stable.
Great. Is there anything else?
Just remember, Henrik's brain has been knocked around like a peanut in its shell. He may have attention difficulties, headaches, anxiety. Sometimes he may seem giddy, too. We need to keep these conditions in check. Don't push him too hard, or he may have some kind of meltdown.
Thanks for the warning, Nurse Bluefoot.
Be well.
You look familiar. Is it time for my snack?
Henrik, it's me, Nancy. You're looking very well. I'm here to help with your memory exercises so you can come back to Beach Hill as soon as possible.
Beach Hill?
Beach Hill is a museum here in Washington, D.C. Before your accident, you were working there on some important Maya glyph translations. Do you remember anything about that project?
I don't even remember my own birthday. So if you're here to squeeze me for details, you're wasting your time.
Actually, Nurse Bluefoot thinks with regular visits, I may be able to help you get your memory back more quickly.
How, pray tell, do you intend to do that?
I'll visit, we'll talk. Sometimes I'll bring you pictures.
Pictures? Well, isn't this nice?
Come on, Henrik. You'll feel much better once things start coming back to you. I've got a picture with me if you'd like to give it a try.
Fine, I'll do it.
Great. These are Maya glyphs, like the ones you used to translate. Now, don't be upset if you don't know how to read them anymore. I can tell you what they mean.
I know what they mean, dear. I wrote them.
I'm sure you have written them at one time or another in your career. So, what do you think this is all about? The magician suffers yellow death.
Your translator is sloppy. I should know. I am the author of the original work.
The author? What are you talking about?
That first glyph is the fool, not the magician. Furthermore, any decent epigrapher knows those glyphs refer to the infamous plague of oozing hives. A fitting curse for a fool, don't you think? I rather like it.
Henrik, this note was found at a crime scene. Are you telling me you left it there?
I don't remember.
The Pacal carving is priceless and irreplaceable. If you stole it, this is your opportunity to come clean and return it to the museum.
Who in the world is Pacal? Oh, my head. Oh, the pressure. I can't take any more today, Nancy.
Okay, it's time for some memory therapy. Nancy, could you come back tomorrow?
Come in.
Need something?
I need to show Henrik a photo of the Pacal carving. Do you have one?
Check with Sinclair.
I've got work to do.
See you around.
Any news?
I need a photo of the Pacal carving. Do you have one?
Joanna took the official print for her insurance claim, but I have a couple extras. Here you go. Keep up the good work. Any news?
There was an incident at the museum. Henrik is in the hospital with a head injury.
Poor Henrik. Another squabble between him and Joanna, perhaps? Oh, I'm kidding, but I do remember the time she threatened to push him in the pond. Temper, temper, I'm always telling her.
I'd better get going.
Bye now.
Well, look who it is.
Hi, Henrik. I've come to talk Maya Kings. Let's see if this photo rings any bells. This will help you to remember.
That face. He's as familiar as my own feet.
Can you remember the last time you saw him?
Pacal! Nancy, this is the stolen carving, isn't it? And I'm the one who took it. I must have. But why? Oh, Pacal! What could I have meant by this?
If you're remembering correctly, this is a serious crime, Henrik. You've got to tell me why you did it.
I can't remember.
Easy, Henrik. The answers are in your head. You just need to find them.
It's still in the museum.
Why would you break into the display case and steal the carving only to leave it in the museum?
To protect him. I had to protect him. Oh, Pacal! Something is going on at that museum, a devious plot. I was the only one who could stand in the way.
What kind of plot?
Forgive me, Nancy, but when I woke up in this hospital bed, I didn't even know my own name. Perhaps the only thing I can offer you is this key. It was found in one of my pockets when I was brought in.
Do you know what lock it belongs to?
I haven't a clue. Take the key now, Nancy. Find out what it opens and return to me, please, with some answers.
We'll get to the bottom of this, I promise.
In the meantime, I'll sit with my friend Pacal and see if he will tell me anything new. You must keep this to yourself for now. It's your only hope of getting to the bottom of this.
Do you know anything about the theft of Prudence Rutherford's necklace?
I can't remember.
Did you use Joanna's name last week to place an order for Cinnabar with Keep It Real Restoration?
You're asking the wrong amnesiac.
Do you have anything against Joanna?
Who knows?
You rest up. I'll be back.
Be careful.